In the last episode with my 2003 Buick Park Avenue Ultra, we took it out and compared the performance to a mostly stock one, and the numbers themselves were pretty unimpressive, and a big reason for that was because this thing was running a bit warm and it was just heat soaking absolutely everything. So I'm gonna try and figure out why that is today. Why am I seeing temperatures of 235 plus in this car, which doesn't really have anything amounting to like extreme modification? This should run like stock, so something's either gotten old or clogged or something along those lines. Now, I have replaced the water pump. It was one of the first things I did to this car, and when I looked inside the block, it all seemed clean. So I don't think there's anything that's like super clogged up. No one's put any, eggs in the coolant system or any of that sort of garbage. I think we're just, it's gotta be something simple. So we're gonna check a couple things today and see if we can figure out what it is. First question, is the battery still charged? Yes, it is. Okay. Is that poison oak? You think that's poison oak? I don't think that's poison oak. In front of the radiator sits the air conditioning condenser. We've got a few bent fins, especially over here, but really nothing too drastic. It's not like it's cutting off a significant portion of the radiator. The other thing to check, oh, what do we have here? Oh, it's absolutely clogged full of crap. Well, that definitely changes things. I was gonna check the thermostat and also check to make sure the radiator wasn't clogged. Actually, let me look at my coolant level real quick. Coolant level is definitely good. Yeah, no, that's just my radiator operating extremely inefficiently because, well, it's covered in whatever the heck this is. So, how am I gonna get that out? Well, I genuinely can't tell if I actually got it out or just blasted it back into the fins. I tried to catch it from the other side a little bit. I'm not sure if that worked or not. I have no idea how to get this stupid radiator out. I need to get a service manual because it's very unintuitive the way everything is sandwiched together here, and these AC hard lines just kind of wrap around absolutely everything. I tried to get this fan shroud off so that I could more easily do that lower radiator hose when I did that job, and absolutely could not figure out how to get it off, and not enough people work on these cars themselves for tutorials or anything to really exist online, so I'm kind of on my own with a lot of this, but it sure does look a lot cleaner down there, so I think I might go for a drive and see if my temps maintain themselves. It is 86 degrees out, so fairly warm. Oh, look at that. There's a nice little eagle on there because it's the 4th. That's cool. I think a bit of hard driving followed by idling in the driveway here should be a pretty good test of if this thing is able to maintain temperature now or not. Oh man, it is really hot out here. Let's get going before I die. I want a graph of KR just to make sure that we're not heat soaking and pulling any timing, because that'll be a pretty good indicator. It's hot enough that the coolant temp isn't on the peg when I started the car. So now I've got knock, coolant, throttle. I'm just gonna drive it around fairly easy until we get up to operating temperature. Then I'm gonna beat on it a little bit, and then we're just gonna park it and let it idle and see how we get along. Something that's interesting that I'm able to do right now is I can actually look at the disparity between the coolant temp sensor for the gauge and the coolant temp sensor for the ECU. For some reason, those are different. It's like that on a lot of cars. I never quite understood the logic between having a different sensor just for the gauge. I also don't really understand the logic behind GM actually putting a real coolant temp sensor on a car meant for old people. Typically, cars have a sensor where as long as your coolant temps are within normal, it just stays in the middle. Not only do the gauges in these not do that, like you'll see it moving around all the time, but I can actually see the coolant temp in Fahrenheit read out on the digital display. That seems like way more information than I would want grandpa to have. These days, if you did that, you would just get a bunch of people bringing their car in every time the gauge went a little bit above the midway point. But I digress. On my tablet here, I have the coolant temp from the ECU. So that one's at 194, and this one's at 194, but it's kind of funny how there's a bit of a lag. Yeah, that one just went to 192, and this one's at 190 now. So it's kind of interesting, the interplay between them. Wow, my coolant temps are dropping as I drive along here. They went from 195 down to 189. Thermostat isn't even open yet, I don't think. I think the thermostat opens at 195 on these. I'm just going to take a bit of a cruise around the nice part of Wichita because I can do that in this car, because in this car, I look like the son of old money. I don't look like new money, or I'd be driving a brand new base model BMW 3 Series or like a 322 M Sport 4-cylinder turbo thing. I look like the son of a rich family that knows the value in taking care of their stuff. You know, people think that rich people drive ostentatious cars like Rolls Royce and stuff like that. I used to work at a Chevy dealership and we had a Chevy Tahoe come in, and it was a loaded Chevy Tahoe, but definitely not an ostentatious vehicle. And I was a porter at the time, and I was asked to go drop it off at the client's house, and the client was the Koch family. Now, I'm not going to get political about the Kochs, but I did think it was interesting that a family with as much power and influence as them chose to daily drive around in, of all things, a Chevy Tahoe. Not even a GMC Yukon, just a Tahoe. I guess it kind of lends some credence to where people get their money from, because you don't become rich by spending all your money. And at this rate, I will never be rich. But at least I'm having a good time. Oh man, this car is just so smooth. It's a little unfortunate that the seats aren't really quite right for my back. My back seems to really prefer the more stiff and supportive German seats to these big old American couches, which is unfortunate because I really love this particular driving experience some of the time. 90% of the time I prefer something sporty and manual like my 3 Series, but sometimes it is nice to just melt into the car like this, especially when we're going through the city of Eastboro, which is incorporated here in the middle of Wichita that exists as its own independent entity with a 20-mile-an-hour speed limit, which means I can just throw my hand up and slow roll through here, looking at all these expensive houses. Well, I don't know what these go for. You're getting a nice house in Wichita for $200K. $1 million gets you your pick of the McMansions if you like tasteless garbage. They have their own police force here. I think it's one guy. Absolutely nothing better to do than sit there and flip his lights on at anyone he radars at doing 21 and a 20. That's interesting. Old Mercedes-Benz decked out in 4th of July attire. Not exactly an American example of excellence like what I am driving here, but hey, more power to you. I like old Mercedes. We've stayed steady at 189 degrees according to the dash and 190.4 according to the ECU. So let's hit it. I'm gonna get on the highway here and see if I can get the temperature to creep up at all. I'm very encouraged by the fact that my temperatures are going from 190 to 194 and then back again. That is a good indication that everything is working properly. I'm very happy about that. So let's sandbag a little bit. Oh, she's pulling strong today. Absolutely no KR either. That's the magic of E85. Oh, my sunroof slid open. That's the magic of E85. In these sort of temperatures, even on a stock car, you would be getting KR on 91 octane. That's just how it is. 194. Grab a gear, get into the boost a little bit. Try not to run into the Acura Legend in front of me. And here we got people holding up traffic in the left lane. Gotta love it. Such a boat. Here we go. Man, I love the torque steer. Oh god, anyone who hates torque steer doesn't have a soul. That is so entertaining. Man, this thing's feeling good today. Wow. No KR whatsoever. Not even a hint of it. Coolant temps are up to 197 after that. 197.6. Okay, okay. Downshift. There we go. Second. Yes. There is a early 2000 Lancer on the side of the road. That checks out. Yep, just went from 197 to 195, so it's definitely dropping back down again. Dang, it's working as it should. Imagine that. Literal free fix to my overheating issue. Not even really overheating. It never got to hot. It just got warmer than it should be. I kind of love doing this. Just like watch how quickly the truck goes away. Bye-bye. Back it up, Terry. Put it in reverse. Okay. Okay. And now we wait. While we're sitting here watching the coolant temperature and seeing what it does, here's a neat thing that you can do on some of these higher end Buicks. If you push and hold the English to metric switch button, you get Welcome to Buick option feature. Driver 1, that's me, and that's denoted by which key fob you use to unlock the car. You can have multiple ones programmed, and those will recall an individual person's, like, you know, preset temperature, radio presets, seat memories, all that kind of stuff. So here we have these settings, and it's push reset to go to the next one, or push the English metric button to change if it's on or off or not. So you've got like parallel park, which is the auto mirror tilt, which I hate, so that's staying off. Auto door locks, which lock all the doors over like 5 miles an hour when you're in drive, which is on. Unlock in park, which is awesome. I'm leaving that on. And you can tell it whether you want to do that for all doors or just the drivers, which is kind of nifty. I'm going to leave that on all. Delayed locking, I don't quite remember what this is. I think that's if you unlock the car and then never open it, it'll eventually lock itself again, which is useful. Lock feedback, of course, and then you can choose if you want it to just be the lights or the lights and the horn when you lock the car. I like listening to the horn, so I'm going to leave that on that. Unlock feedback, flash the lights when I unlock the car, sure, why not? Perimeter lights, I think that just turns on the DRLs and some other stuff when you unlock it so that you have adequate light to get in the car at night, which is wonderful. Seat recall, that'll move the seat to a specific position when you get in the car. I don't like it. I'm leaving it off because sometimes it gets a little confused and moves the seat into weird positions. Window lockout, so that's if you push this button, you can have it only lock out your kids in the rear or lock out everybody, which is neat. And then option feature selection done. That's all the options that you can select with the hidden menu in the Buick Park Avenues. And I believe the LeSabres and maybe the Bonnevilles, I'm not sure what else uses these controls. Maybe the Sentry, I don't know. But it's neat. Just another quick note, I did kind of make sure to park the engine and radiator in the sun just to sort of give it as little of a chance of staying cool as possible. I'm bored. It's been about 15 minutes of sitting here, and my coolant temps, they're rock steady. Dashboard says 192 Fahrenheit, and the engine says the engine computer says 194 degrees Fahrenheit. So if anything, they've gone down. That's a win. That's such a win, and it's 86 degrees Fahrenheit outside. I think it's fixed. I think it is definitely fixed. There's no more overheating issue to be found here, and I fixed it. And the best part is, fixed it for free. It really doesn't get much better than that. What a win. So now I don't have to worry about this thing puking coolant everywhere and overheating. It's time to throw some other goodies at it, but that is going to wait until a later episode. I'm going to go enjoy my 4th of July and have a cookout and some adult beverages. And I hope you all have a good one as well. Thanks for watching.